Hi friends, this Battle Through the Heavens new novel was copied from WTR Labcom. If true owner has issues, please message me. I remove this video immediately. Also, I am uploading only few chapters as audio novel reader. If you are interested, please read novel from WTS Labcom. Chapter 1. Awakening of the Talismans. Jiama Empire, Wooten City, Zio family. A young man sat cross-legged on the bed, Du-Chi swirling around him. The surrounding natural energy slowly gathered, converging toward the young man, eventually settling into his dantian. Then, an aura belonging to a Du practitioner emanated from him. His surroundings returned to calm, and the young man opened his eyes. It's been 10 years since I transmigrated to Du Po, and I've finally advanced to Du practitioner. No wonder people in cultivation novels love cultivating so much. The feeling of a breakthrough is this exhilarating. Feeling his own Du-Chi, the young man, whose handsome face rivaled that of the readers, revealed a satisfied smile. The young man's name was Zio Chen. Like Zio Yan, he was also a transmigrator from Blue Star. However, Zio Chen's era was later than Zio Yan's. By then, the Du Po novel had become hugely popular, and the anime had already reached the 3-year agreement. In his previous life, Zio Chen had lost both parents but had managed to secure a stable life through his own efforts. But one day, on his way home from work, he was hit by a mud truck that appeared out of nowhere and was transported to this fighting Qi continent, a world of cultivating Du Qi. Arriving in this world, he became an ordinary disciple of the Zio family. Originally, both his parents were alive. However, his father died during an external mission, and his mother, unable to bear the shock, followed soon after. Zio Chen went from having a complete family back to being alone. Because of his parents' contributions to the family, Zio Chen received preferential treatment from the Zio family. Thus, he didn't need to worry about making a living. The Zio family could afford to raise him as a child. As a transmigrator, how could Zio Chen not have a golden finger? His golden finger was the 12 talismans from the world of Jackie Chan adventures. Through research, Zio Chen learned that every time he advanced a rank, he could awaken one talisman. The Ox Talisman was the first talisman Zio Chen awakened. The Ox Talisman granted Zio Chen divine power far beyond ordinary people. Even before he started cultivating, he displayed remarkable combat strength, earning the Zio family's high attention. After cultivating his first thread of Du Zhai Qi at the age of 4, Zio Chen obtained his second talisman, the Horse Talisman. The noble horse could expel all external forces from the body. With the combination of the Ox and Horse Talismans, the Ox Talisman's tempering of his physique and the Horse Talisman's restorative effects allowed Zio Chen's physical fitness to far surpass his peers during the Du Zhai Qi stage, making his combat power comparable to a Du practitioner. Zio Chen also surpassed Zio Yan to become the #1 genius of the Zio family. After breaking through to Du practitioner, choosing the Tiger Talisman to balance the power conflicts between the talismans should be my top priority. Sitting on the bed, Zio Chen began to inspect the 12 talismans within his consciousness. The 12 talismans formed a circle, with 2 talismans lit, the Ox Talisman and the Horse Talisman, while the others remained dark. After awakening the Horse Talisman, Zio Chen could faintly sense that his body could only handle the power of 3 talismans simultaneously at most. So after careful consideration, Zio Chen felt that the Tiger Talisman was the best choice for now. It was also what he needed most, the Tiger Talisman to stabilize the power balance among the talismans within his body. As soon as he made his choice, the Tiger Talisman in his consciousness lit up. Zio Chen felt an indescribable change occurring in his body. Not only were the conflicts between the talismans resolved by the Tiger Talisman, but his cultivation also seemed to become attuned with heaven and earth. With every breath, he converted Du Qi, feeling utterly refreshed. His control over his body became as effortless as breathing. In fact, if Xiao Chen wanted to learn any Do technique, he only needed to see it once to master it completely. This was absolute control over his own body. This feeling brought Xiao Chen an unexpected surprise. He hadn't expected the seemingly insignificant tiger talisman from the anime to enhance him so greatly. Based on Xiao Chen's feelings, after awakening the tiger talisman, he didn't need to cultivate a cultivation technique. The tiger talisman could replace the function of a cultivation technique. Moreover, through his exploration, Xiao Chen discovered that the tiger talisman had the ability to devour and upgrade using different fires, similar to the flame mantra. The tiger talisman could devour not only different fires, but also various natural treasures. It could convert the pure energy of natural treasures into energy for his own breakthroughs. Relying on the marvel of the tiger talisman, I might be able to create my own unique cultivation technique. I'll call it the creation decree, Xiao Chen thought to himself. Knock, knock, knock. Just as Xiao Chen was thinking, a knock sounded. He walked over and opened the door. Outside stood a beautiful young girl dressed in purple, with an extraordinary temperament and a face that, though still showing childishness, was already captivating. The girl's name was Xiao Zun, also Gu Zunner. She had been sent by her 9-star Du Sheng father to investigate the Chuosh ancient Emperor Jade in the Xiao family, and also to keep her away from the conflicts of the ancient clans. After Xiao Chen broke through to the first stage of Du Zhai Qi, he used the power of the horse talisman to heal Zunner's physical discomfort caused by fusing with the Golden Emperor burning heaven flame. When Zunner first arrived in the unfamiliar environment, she was full of vigilance toward everything. The discomfort from fusing with the different fire had kept her awake all night. Unexpectedly, even her father couldn't resolve the rejection of the different fire, but this young man easily alleviated it. Thus, Zunner developed a strong interest in this mysterious young man. Over time, their relationship grew close. However, they were still just children, only good friends. Due to Xiao Chen's interference, Xiao Yan and Xiao Zun did not experience the episode of Du Qi nourishing the body, nor did they become as close as in the original story. They merely knew each other. "Brother Chen, you've broken through to Du practitioner." Zunner was very surprised, seeing Xiao Chen, who had just broken through and was radiating the aura of a Du practitioner. A lucky breakthrough. Xiao Chen's expression was calm. He wasn't proud of breaking through to Du practitioner at the age of 10, because he knew what disasters the Xiao family would face in the future. On the fighting Qi continent, strength was paramount. Only those with strength had a say. Xiao Chen, familiar with the plot, felt a sense of urgency and desperately wanted to gain power. Although his parents were already gone, the Xiao family had treated him well over the years. Xiao Chen also hoped to protect the Xiao family when the Hall of Souls set its sights on them. "Brother Chen is truly amazing. I wonder what a tribute your Du Qi is." Zunner blinked her big eyes, staring at Xiao Chen with curiosity. Hearing Zunner's words, Xiao Chen looked inward at his Du Qi vortex. The vortex showed black and white colors, the two opposing yet interdependent. He had awakened the tiger talisman, bringing his body into balance, and his Du Qi had transformed into yin and yang. Xiao Chen released his Du Qi for Zunner to see. "Brother Chen's Du Qi is very special. If you need any help, just let me know," Zunner said, worried that Xiao Chen might lack a suitable cultivation technique. "Thank you, Zunner. I have my own plans, don't worry about me." Xiao Chen was touched that Zunner wanted to help him. "All right, Brother Chen, if you ever need help, be sure to tell me," Zunner emphasized repeatedly. Zunner suggested they go to the market, and since Xiao Chen had just broken through and had no urgent matters, he decided to relax. The two youngsters walked through the market. Despite their young age, their looks already surpassed ordinary people, drawing envious glances from many of their peers in the Xiao family. On their way home at night, they ran into Xiao Yan and his father. "It's Chenner and Zunner." Xiao Zhan had a great impression of Xiao Chen, a genius even more extraordinary than his own son, humble, low-key, emotional, and grateful. "Uncle Xiao Zhan," they both said. Zunner and Xiao Chen greeted Xiao Zhan and nodded to Xiao Yan beside him. As Xiao Zhan was feeling gratified about the relationship between Xiao Chen and Zunner, he sensed the aura of a Du practitioner from Xiao Chen and said in surprise, "Chenner, you've broken through to Du practitioner." "I made a lucky breakthrough today." Xiao Chen's expression remained calm. Seeing that Xiao Chen wasn't the least bit arrogant about his breakthrough, Xiao Zhan was secretly amazed. Not only was his cultivation speed far beyond ordinary, but his heart nature was also so resilient. He couldn't help but marvel that this child had the potential to become a Du emperor. Good, good, good. Our Xiao family has an extraordinary genius." Xiao Zhan patted Xiao Chen on the shoulder and laughed heartily. Xiao Zhan's words also shocked Xiao Yan. He thought his own cultivation speed was already fast, but he didn't expect Xiao Chen to be even faster. This gave Xiao Yan a slight sense of defeat, but only for a moment. He secretly resolved to catch up with Xiao Chen. Because of Xiao Chen's talent, Xiao Yan wasn't as complacent as in the original story, and thus trained even harder. 1 year later, Xiao family, Xiao Chen's residence. It is also time to set off for the Jianan Academy. Xiao Chen lay on the bed, planning his next steps in his mind. After a year of bitter cultivation, relying on the ox, horse, and tiger talismans, Xiao Chen had already achieved a breakthrough to become a Du master, with combat power comparable to a great Du master. This was inseparable from the fact that Xiao Zhan and several Xiao family elders allowed Xiao Chen to learn all the Du techniques in the Xiao family's Du Technique Hall, and prioritized the supply of cultivation resources to him. This caused Xiao Chen's cultivation speed to be extremely fast, and his practical combat ability did not lag behind. Upon his breakthrough to Du master, he could already rival great Du master experts, and later, through constant practical combat, he could now crush Xiao Zhan, a 5-star great Du master. Therefore, there was basically no further improvement for Xiao Chen within the Xiao family now, so he prepared to change his map. He prepared to participate in this year's Jianan Academy enrollment exam and head to the Jianan Academy. After coming to this world and awakening his golden finger, Xiao Chen began to formulate his early-stage cultivation plan. Besides his golden finger, Xiao Chen also had knowledge of the original work, knowing some of the opportunities within it. Xiao Chen's purpose for going to the Jianan Academy so early was the life-devouring pill. In the original work, Xiao Yan's second brother, Xiao Li, obtained a life-devouring pill, a peak 7th-tier medicinal pill, after being chased into an unknown valley in the Black Corner region. It could assist a great Du master to directly advance to a Du king, but it came at the cost of vitality. The user could only live for another 3 years, and had to achieve a breakthrough to Du Huang within 3 years to increase their lifespan in order to survive. However, this side effect was non-existent in front of the dog talisman, as the dog talisman's immortality perfectly countered it. The saying goes, if one step in cultivation is fast, every step is fast. In this world where strength is supreme, Xiao Chen urgently needed powerful strength. Before I leave, it is time to settle the debts that the 2 families owe me. Through Xiao Chen's investigation, he found that his father died due to the schemes of the 2 families. His status as an orphan was inextricably linked to the 2 families. If he did not take revenge, Xiao Chen's mind would not be at peace. When Xiao Chen was still a Du practitioner, the 2 families learned of his cultivation talent and, fearing Xiao Chen would grow up, sent assassins to assassinate him, wanting to eliminate this Xiao family genius early. At that time, Xiao Chen's defensive awareness was not that strong, and the Xiao family could not protect him at all times, so he was almost successfully targeted by the two families. No one could have imagined that Xiao Chen could fight above his rank as a Du practitioner, and he also had a life-saving trump card like the horse Talisman. The assassins sent by the two families were all eliminated by Xiao Chen, and that was also the first time Xiao Chen had killed someone in both of his lifetimes. Although he had never killed anyone in his previous life, he was, after all, an orphan who had struggled on his own without parents, and had long since forged a resilient and decisive heart nature. As someone who loved reading novels, he knew well the consequences of not cutting the weeds without removing the roots. If the other two families knew of his strength, he did not know what they might do. He had to kill them and not let them go back to send word. The two families would only think that the Xiao family had secretly sent experts to protect him, and they would have concerns the next time they attacked. Therefore, Xiao Chen felt no guilt about dealing with these two families. Once an enmity was formed, one had to cut the weeds and remove the roots to eliminate future trouble. The next day, Xiao Chen came to Xiao Zhan's residence and stated his intentions. "Chenner, how much certainty do you have? Why not wait until you have a breakthrough to Great Du Master before taking action to be safer?" Xiao Zhan's expression was serious. Compared to destroying the Gale and Ao Ba families, Xiao Zhan was more concerned about Xiao Chen's safety. "Rest assured, Uncle Xiao, I am confident that I can kill a Great Du Master within 10 moves." Xiao Chen was being a bit conservative. With his combat power, the two elderly Great Du Master clan chiefs of the two families could not last more than 5 moves, let alone the fact that Xiao Chen was planning a sneak attack. "Only after solving the two families and avenging my parents can I go to the Jia Nan Academy with peace of mind." "Chenner, are you going to the Jia Nan Academy?" "Yes, with your current cultivation, the Xiao family has nothing left that can help you." Xiao Zhan was initially surprised by Xiao Chen's desire to leave, but subsequently understood. Xiao Chen's terrifying cultivation talent could no longer be contained by this small Wutan city, and he needed to go to a wider world. "Uncle Xiao, thank you for the Xiao family's care for me. I will never forget the Xiao family's kindness to me." Xiao Chen bowed to Xiao Zhan to thank him. "Good. Chenner, do whatever you want to do, and the Xiao family will fully cooperate with you." Xiao Zhan was very satisfied with Xiao Chen's statement. He was afraid that Xiao Chen would leave and never return. Xiao Zhan subsequently found the various elders of the Xiao family to discuss, and in the end, they all expressed their cooperation with Xiao Chen. After all, they were still very convinced by Xiao Chen's combat power. At night, Xiao Chen put on a black robe and jumped out of the Xiao family compound in a few flashes. The Xiao family's manpower had also been assembled. Gale family, Gale Bai's residence. Xiao Chen appeared at the door in a few flashes, and Gale Bai's snoring could be heard inside the room. Xiao Chen kicked the door of the room flying, and the huge sound woke up the sleeping Gale Bai in the room. Gale Bai was, after all, a Great Du Master expert, and he instantly stood up and summoned Du Qi armor to protect his body. "Who are you? Why have you come?" "To take your dog life." Xiao Chen was ruthless and did not talk much. He pointed a finger, and a dragon blast shot towards Gale Bai along his fingertip. Before Gale Bai could finish speaking, he was blasted through his defenses by this dragon blast and instantly turned into charcoal. This was exactly the 4th talismanic incantation Xiao Chen chose upon his breakthrough to Du Master, the Dragon Talisman. The Dragon Talisman provided Xiao Chen with a continuous stream of energy and also allowed him to cast powerful skills like Dragon Blast. It could be said that Xiao Chen, as a Du Master who had obtained the Dragon Talisman, could easily insta-kill an unprepared Great Du Master. The whole process was too fast. In just an instant, Gale Bai, this Great Du Master, died at Xiao Chen's hands. Subsequently, Xiao Chen carried out successive sneak attacks, eliminating the Gale family's several high-level combatants before heading towards the Ao Ba family. In just a few minutes, the Gale family's high-level combatants were eliminated by Xiao Chen. The Ao Ba family clan chief Ao Ba Pa was still immersed in his bed of roses when he was sent to meet Gale by a dragon blast from Xiao Chen, who had broken down the door. After finishing, Xiao Chen notified Xiao Zhan, and Xiao Zhan led the Xiao family's men to storm the two families. Upon entering the two families, Xiao Zhan gasped when he saw the houses destroyed by the dragon blast. He did not expect that Xiao Chen, at such a young age, not only possessed heaven-defying combat power, but was also decisive and ruthless in his actions. One must know that Xiao Chen was only 11 years old now. Normal children might still be playing around and sensing Du Zhai Qi, while Xiao Chen already had the strength to destroy the two families. After a night of fighting, the people of Wutan City learned that a major event had occurred. The two families had been destroyed overnight by a mysterious expert, and the Xiao family had annexed the assets of both families. The various small factions in Wutan City were in a panic, not knowing what kind of force the two families had provoked to be wiped out overnight. Only Xiao Zunner, Xiao Zhan, and a few elders knew the identity of the mysterious person that night. The Xiao family took over the markets and various resources and wealth of the two families, leaping to become the largest family in Wutan City. Xiao Zhan and the several elders were also grinning from ear to ear. Zunner's small courtyard, Zunner's room. The young girl sat on the bed when suddenly a black shadow rose from the ground in front of her, slowly forming into a human shape. "Young miss, tonight young Master Xiao Chen launched a sneak attack on the two families. Young Master Xiao Chen has mastered a terrifyingly powerful Du technique, and relying on the Du technique and movement technique, he killed the great Du masters of the two families in a short time." The black shadow knelt in the direction of Zunner, his tone respectful, with surprise in his words regarding Xiao Chen's combat power. Brother Xiao Chen is becoming more and more mysterious. Zunner sat on the bed, her two little feet swinging non-stop, and said to Ling Wying, who was kneeling in front of her, "Old Ling, just pay attention to Brother Xiao Chen's safety. Do not go and probe into Brother Xiao Chen's secrets." Xiao family training ground. Originally, Xiao Yan had just made a breakthrough and was preparing to come out to relax when he heard the Xiao family disciples discussing the destruction of the two families and the mysterious person. Upon inquiring, he learned that the Gale family and the Ao Ba family, which had originally formed a tripartite balance with the Xiao family, had been destroyed by the mysterious person, which greatly shocked Xiao Yan's little heart and also made him understand the fragility of those with insufficient strength in this world. Xiao Yan no longer had any thoughts of relaxing or showing off, and turned back to continue burying himself in cultivation. The day for Jia Nan Academy's recruitment drew near, and the recruitment team arrived in Wutan City. The number of applicants was immense, all hoping to qualify for further studies at Jia Nan Academy. Xiao Chen also came to the recruitment plaza. He walked toward the qualification testing area, and the crowded people were pushed aside by the aura emanating from him. "Place your hand on the crystal ball. If it lights up, you pass," the staff member explained the testing rules. Xiao Chen touched the crystal ball, and it immediately emitted a dazzling light. "Pass next." Xiao Chen was led to a tent where many people were standing, basking in the sun. Xiao Chen knew this was the senior's way of giving the newcomers an intimidating show of force. However, Xiao Chen didn't care about that and walked straight into the tent. "Kid, I advise you to stay outside and bask in the sun for a while, or you'll have a hard time," an ordinary-looking senior said fiercely to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen didn't bother with any pleasantries and suddenly released his aura. "Scram!" The senior who had just spoken harshly was sent flying by the aura and slammed into a nearby wall. After recovering, he looked at Xiao Chen with eyes full of fear. Xiao Chen's move immediately intimidated the other seniors who were eager to teach him a lesson, causing them to lose their nerve. The other seniors also quickly lowered their heads, too scared to speak. The teacher inside the tent also witnessed the scene just now and then sized Xiao Chen up. He looked like a child, about 1.6 meters tall. "Child, my name is Jiang Tao, a recruitment mentor for Jianan Academy. What is your name? How old are you? And what is your cultivation level?" the teacher asked Xiao Chen cautiously. "My name is Xiao Chen. I am 11 years old, and I am currently a 2-star Du Master," Xiao Chen said calmly. Suddenly, there was silence in the tent, and the group of people looked as if they had seen a ghost. "A Du Master at 11. You call this fucking 11 years old?" Good, good, good. I've truly found a treasure." Jiang Tao excitedly grabbed Xiao Chen's hand, fearing that if he let go, Xiao Chen would disappear. "This recruitment is more than successful. Having recruited such a prodigy, I will surely soar to success once I return to the academy." Seeing the teacher's excited look, Xiao Chen was somewhat speechless. This teacher gave off a very unreliable feeling. Not long after, the recruitment days for Jianan Academy in Wooten City came to an end. In the Xiao family council hall, Xiao Zhan and several elders were present. "Chenner, you are about to leave for Jianan Academy. The family has nothing much to help you with, but this is a small token of our heart," Xiao Zhan said as he handed a storage ring to Xiao Chen and patted his shoulder. "You have been mature and sensible since childhood, so there's nothing I need to remind you of. Just be careful when you're away from home." Xiao Chen took the storage ring and scanned the resources inside. Although they weren't of much help to him, they represented most of the resources the Xiao family could provide. Recalling the Xiao family's care over the past few years, although part of it was due to his talent, Xiao Zhan also cared for him like a half-son. Xiao Chen was a person who repaid both grudges and kindness. "Uncle Xiao, elders, I will keep the Xiao family's care in my heart," Xiao Chen said, cupping his fists in a salute to Xiao Zhan and the elders. After speaking, Xiao Chen walked out of the council hall and met Xiao Yan and other Xiao family disciples, including Xiao Zunner, Xiao Yu, Xiao Mei, Xiao Enning, and others. As the first genius of the Xiao family, Xiao Chen had gained the recognition of most people in the Xiao family with his powerful talent, strength, and humble, friendly attitude. The younger generation of the Xiao family all looked up to him and took him as their role model. "What, you can't bear to see me go either?" Xiao Chen walked over and put his arm around Xiao Yan's shoulder. Over the years, through their constant comparisons, the brotherly bond between Xiao Chen and Xiao Yan had grown deep. "Who can't bear it? Your departure just means I'll be missing an opponent," Xiao Yan denied stubbornly. "Don't slack off on your cultivation at Jianan Academy. Be careful not to be easily overtaken by me in the future." "Keep it up, you will definitely become a powerhouse," Xiao Chen told Xiao Yan. "Brother Xiao Chen, be careful in everything at Jianan Academy." The speaker was Xiao Zunner. Her eyes were slightly moist, and her words were full of reluctance to see Xiao Chen leave, but she had her own mission and had to stay in the Xiao family. "Don't worry, you can trust my strength. If I can't win, running away won't be a problem," Xiao Chen joked with Xiao Zunner to lighten the sad atmosphere. Xiao Zunner and the other Xiao family disciples couldn't help but laugh. Usually, Xiao Chen was very serious, so they didn't expect him to have a humorous side. The Xiao family's farewell party ended amidst laughter and joy. Xiao Chen arrived at the Jianan Academy recruitment camp. At the camp entrance, he saw Jiang Tao looking around like a longing wife stone. His eyes lit up when he saw Xiao Chen's figure. "Xiao Chen, you're finally here. We're all ready and just waiting for you." Teacher Jiang Tao came over, grabbed Xiao Chen's hand, and led him toward the large flying boat next to the camp, fearing Xiao Chen might disappear from his sight again. A large ship stood in the middle of the vast plaza. This was the transport used by Jianan Academy to take qualified students to the academy, capable of long-distance flight. Jianan Academy sent powerful experts to guard every team. Coupled with Jianan Academy's reputation in the Black Corner region, almost no one dared to provoke them. Xiao Chen followed Jiang Tao onto the flying boat. The deck was filled with students recruited by Jianan Academy in the Jia Ma Empire. These people could be considered minor geniuses in a barren place like the Jia Ma Empire. They all had their own pride, but when they saw Xiao Chen being led by teacher Jiang Tao, the originally noisy crowd fell silent. Not only was it out of respect for teacher Jiang Tao, but they had also heard that there was a prodigy this year who had already achieved a breakthrough to do master at the age of 10. Seeing Xiao Chen being so highly valued by Jiang Tao and his youthful face, they could basically conclude that this was the prodigy. Some thought of making friends, some thought of sparring with Xiao Chen, and there were inevitably those who were jealous. Some infatuated female students even began to daydream while looking at Xiao Chen's youthful but already handsome face, which was 7/10 as handsome as the readers. Let me say a few words. You have already passed the entrance qualifications for my Jianan Academy. Next, we will take the Academy's flying boat to Jianan Academy. Once at the Academy, you will all be students in my class, and I will be your mentor. My name is Jiang Tao, a 5-star Great Du Master. Our Academy not only offers advanced cultivation knowledge, but also has an alchemy department and an outer academy law enforcement squad. Your purpose in coming to Jianan Academy is only one: to become stronger, and even damn stronger. Jiang Tao shared knowledge about Jianan Academy with the students, occasionally looking at Xiao Chen to see if he was listening clearly. Xiao Chen listened intently, planning for the future in his heart. He intended to join the alchemy department to learn alchemy knowledge. Xiao Chen possessed the flames of the dragon talisman and a powerful soul power. Although he didn't have a trace of wood attribute mixed within his fire, he could use the bug-like tiger talisman to achieve balance. It could be said that as long as Xiao Chen wanted to refine any medicinal pill, he could succeed 100% and produce the highest quality. In the fighting Qi continent, an alchemist is a very noble profession. Not only are they rare, but they can also accumulate vast networks of connections through their medicinal pills. Therefore, in the fighting Qi continent, one must never provoke an alchemist, because you have no idea how many helpers he can summon. Xiao Chen wanted to become a powerhouse and protect those he cared about. Establishing a force was inevitable, so he wouldn't have to do everything personally. He had been cultivating all this time, and the highest-level alchemist in Wooten City, besides the sleeping soul body of Yao Lao, was only Great Master Gunai, a second-tier alchemist from the middle family. While practicing alchemy, Xiao Chen planned to join the Outer Academy Law Enforcement Squad. The Law Enforcement Squad was active in the Black Corner region. Xiao Chen currently had strength, but lacked experience in life-and-death combat. He also planned to use this opportunity to find the life-devouring pill that Xiao Li obtained in the original story. This was also Xiao Chen's main purpose for coming to Jianan Academy early. After a long flight on the flying boat, the outline of Jianan Academy became faintly visible. Looking at Jianan Academy, the students' excitement could not be calmed for a long time, and Xiao Chen felt the same. Jianan Academy, Black Corner region, life-devouring pill, here I come. Xiao Chen looked at Jianan Academy, his eyes filled with the desire to become stronger. The breeze blew against his face, and he was full of high spirits. 1 year later, Black Corner region, an unknown deep mountain. Over the past year, by joining the alchemy department and the Outer Academy Law Enforcement team, Xiao Chen's alchemy skills had reached the peak of the 4th tier, and his Du Qi level successfully reached the breakthrough to Great Du Master. During this year, Xiao Chen joined the law enforcement team and engaged in life-and-death struggles within the Black Corner region. He fought above his rank countless times, even once encountering a Du Ling expert. At that time, Zhao Chen was only an 8-star Du Master, but he managed to turn danger into safety every time by relying on the Ox Talisman's continuous enhancement of his physical body and the Horse Talisman's healing. Finally, by a stroke of luck, he accidentally entered a deep mountain and found the life-devouring pill and pill formula that Zhao Li had unexpectedly obtained in the original story. The life-devouring pill that Zhao Chen had searched for a long time was thus obtained unexpectedly. After the breakthrough to Great Du Master, Zhao Chen could undergo the awakening of another talismanic incantation. Following his plan, he chose the Dog Talisman, which grants eternal youth and keeps him at his strongest state at all times, perfectly offsetting the side effects of the life-devouring pill. After stabilizing his realm, he returned to this deep mountain. It would be difficult to explain to the Academy's mentors if he swallowed the pill and made his breakthrough at the Academy. This secluded mountain was the perfect treasure spot for a breakthrough to Du Wang. After setting up a formation in the surrounding area, Zhao Chen prepared to swallow the life-devouring pill and began his breakthrough to Du Wang. Zhao Chen sat cross-legged in the cave. The area had already been set with a formation to isolate his aura. He was still worried that the noise of the breakthrough would attract some pests, and it was better to have less trouble. Everything is ready. Breakthrough to Du Wang. Zhao Chen swallowed the life-devouring pill and closed his eyes to absorb the medicinal power. As the medicinal power of the life-devouring pill was absorbed, the Du Qi around Zhao Chen began to grow restless, converging toward him. His Great Du Master aura also began to climb steadily. 2-star Great Du Master. 3-star Great Du Master. 1-star Du Ling. His Du Qi reached the peak of Du Ling, and the Du Qi of the entire valley began to gather toward Zhao Chen's location, transformed by his every breath into his unique black and white Du Qi. Finally, Zhao Chen's entire aura shook, and the last layer of Du Ling was shattered. Zhao Chen successfully promoted to Du Wang. Behind him, a pair of black and white wings spread out, the hallmark of a Du Wang expert, Du Qi wings. The moment Zhao Chen achieved his breakthrough to Du Wang, the side effects of the life-devouring pill were about to take effect when they were negated into nothingness by the Dog Talisman. Is this the power of a Du Wang? Zhao Chen spread his wings and clenched his fists to feel the changes in himself. Physical strength, soul power, and the thickness of my Du Qi have all been enhanced in every aspect. This feeling of power increasing is so exhilarating. Zhao Chen quickly broke free from the joy of becoming stronger and inspected the changes in the talismanic incantations. Not bad. By breaking through 2 major stages, I can unlock 2 more talismanic incantations. Zhao Chen chose the Sheep Talisman and the Rabbit Talisman. The former gave Zhao Chen massive soul power, which is essential for an alchemist. The latter could increase Zhao Chen's speed by a major stage. In the world of Jackie Chan adventures, under the right coincidences, it could even travel through time and space. Zhao Chen believed that with his development of the talismanic incantations, he would eventually be able to do it too. Although the Sheep Talisman's soul emergence was somewhat impractical, Zhao Chen felt that if developed well, it could even have an effect similar to spirit general control from under one person. With the awakening of 2 more talismanic incantations in a row, Zhao Chen felt a bit more complete, as if this power originally belonged to him and was slowly being reclaimed. Zhao Chen's already formidable soul power surged once again. Phew, my soul power has broken through to the spirit realm, Zhao Chen said joyfully as he felt his soul's strength. In the world of battle through the heavens, soul power is divided into 4 levels: mortal, spirit, heaven, and emperor. Most people stay in the mortal realm their entire lives. Only a few can break through to the spirit realm, let alone the higher heaven realm souls. Having awakened the Sheep Talisman, Zhao Chen's soul power would slowly strengthen over time, just like the Ox Talisman continuously strengthens his physical body. Zhao Chen tested his speed again. He spread his Du Qi wings and flew toward the academy, arriving at Jianan Academy in a short while. Xiao Chen now had a clear understanding of his speed. In terms of speed alone, even a Du Zong at full power would find it difficult to catch up with his current self. This is great. I can deal damage and take hits. I can escape and have sustain. The horse talisman ensures I won't be injured, and the dog talisman ensures my state is always at its strongest. As long as I don't encounter an attack that instantly kills me without leaving a trace, I can survive. I'll find another soul attack do technique, and it'll be perfect. Xiao Chen summarized his situation, very satisfied with his current setup. While Xiao Chen was still thinking, a slightly plump old man in silver robes flew out from Jianan Academy with a pair of blue wings behind him. The newcomer was the Outer Academy Dean, Hu Gan. With a ripple in space, a gold-robed old man also instantly appeared in front of Xiao Chen. Although Xiao Chen had never met him, he could guess that it should be the Grand Elder of the Inner Academy, Su Kaiyan. Just now, I sensed a combat power at the Du Zong level rapidly approaching the academy. What happened here? The speaker was Grand Elder Su Kaiyan. He had felt an aura no weaker than a Du Zong approaching the academy at an incredible speed from the Inner Academy. Thinking a powerful expert was attacking, he came out to the Outer Academy. Xiao Chen, what happened? Why have you broken through to Du Wang? Hu Gan said in surprise upon seeing it was Xiao Chen. He had also come out to investigate after sensing the aura. Grand Elder, this is the Xiao Chen from the Outer Academy I often mention to you. He broke through to Great Du Master at only 12 years old. Hu Gan introduced them, seeing that Su Kaiyan and Xiao Chen did not know each other. Xiao Chen, this is our Jianan Academy's Inner Academy Grand Elder, Su Kaiyan. He is a Du Zong. Xiao Chen was the most monstrous prodigy of the Outer Academy, reaching Great Du Master at 12 and capable of defeating a Great Du Master as a Du Master. Hu Gan had been paying close attention to him. But he remembered that Xiao Chen had only recently broken through to Great Du Master. How had he jumped 2 stages to Du Wang and also radiated a might no weaker than a Du Zong? Student Xiao Chen pays his respects to the Dean and the Grand Elder. It's a long story. I went to the Black Corner region for training a few days ago and was chased by a Du Ling expert. I was pursued into an unknown deep mountain and accidentally found a life-devouring pill and its formula hidden there. The situation was urgent at the time. After seeing the effect of the life-devouring pill, I had no choice but to take it to raise my realm so I could escape. Xiao Chen recounted his experience, though he omitted certain parts, and took out the life-devouring pill's pill formula. Su Kaiyan took the formula and looked at it, then frowned. This life-devouring pill raises one to Du Wang by overdrawing life force in advance. The user is left with only 3 years of lifespan. Only by taking pills that increase life expectancy and breaking through to Du Huang can one escape the side effects. Sai, I didn't expect such a thing to happen. Xiao Chen, don't worry. The Academy will find lifespan-increasing medicinal ingredients for you to refine longevity pills. Breaking through to Du Huang won't be a problem. Hu Gan on the side also frowned deeply, but thinking of Xiao Chen's talent combined with lifespan-increasing pills, breaking through to Du Huang should not be an issue. Xiao Chen thanks the Dean and Grand Elder for their concern. If the Academy could help collect the ingredients for longevity pills, I can refine them myself. The little fellow is also an alchemist, truly a prodigy. This life-devouring pill might be a disaster for others, but for you, it might be an opportunity. The Grand Elder stroked his beard with satisfaction. Xiao Chen understands. Thank you for your concern, Grand Elder. If there's nothing else, I'll return to the Academy. I've just broken through and want to go back to stabilize my realm. Xiao Chen bid farewell to the two. Go then. Cultivate with a balance of work and rest, and advance steadily. The two bid Xiao Chen goodbye. This Xiao Chen is a talent. His cultivation talent is monstrous, and he's also an alchemist. Just now, I sense that this kid's soul power is already comparable to a Du Zong. I'm afraid his overall strength is already enough to challenge a Du Zong. Su Kaiyan said with satisfaction as he watched Xiao Chen's departing figure. He felt lucky that his Jianan Academy had recruited such a prodigy. Su Kaiyan's words struck Hu Gan's mind like a thunderclap. A Du Wang with soul power comparable to a Du Zong, whose true strength even the Grand Elder can't see through. Xiao Chen has the potential of a Du Dai. Let's go. From now on, satisfy whatever conditions Xiao Chen proposes. It's also time for this kid to enter the inner academy. Being a Du Wang and still staying in the outer academy is just not right, the Grand Elder said to Hu Gan. Yes, Grand Elder, Hu Gan replied, but in his heart, he was thinking that his granddaughter Hu Jia was about the same age as Xiao Chen. He should find a time to introduce the two. After bidding farewell to Su Kaiyan and Hu Gan, Xiao Chen returned to his residence at the Jianan Academy to stabilize his newly attained realm. Xiao Chen sat cross-legged on the bed, consolidating and strengthening his Du Wang qi. The turbulent qi and outward aura surrounding his body slowly retracted, and his Du qi became more concentrated. Xiao Chen activated the qi concealment technique, and his strength as a Du Wang slowly vanished. To outsiders, he appeared like an ordinary person. Even when probed with soul power, he seemed like a mist, making it impossible to detect his true strength. With Xiao Chen's current soul power, even Grand Elder Su Kaiyan of the Inner Academy would be unable to probe his strength, though perhaps the two elders Kaiyan Bai could. With my current soul power, even Tier 7 medicinal pills are well within my grasp. I'm just lacking some Tier 7 pill formulas. Xiao Chen sensed his soul power and formed a new assessment of his current alchemy skills. Knock, knock, knock. A knocking sound came from outside the door. Xiao Chen pulled back his thoughts, got out of bed, and opened the door. Upon opening the door, a fragrant breeze met him. The woman outside had an outstanding appearance and a tall figure, dressed in light green clothing. Most prominent were her pair of exposed, long, white jade-like legs. Her skin was smooth and delicate, and her jade feet were encased in a pair of exquisite high heels. Xiao Chen was stunned for a moment before remembering that the owner of these long legs could be none other than his cousin, Xiao Yu. Xiao Chen couldn't be blamed for not recognizing her immediately. When he was with the Xiao family, they were both still young. Xiao Yu hadn't fully developed back then, and Xiao Chen had been obsessed with his cultivation, so he naturally hadn't interacted much with this cousin. What's wrong? Our Xiao family's great genius. You've only been at Jianan Academy for a year, and you can't recognize your cousin anymore, Xiao Yu teased, seeing Xiao Chen's initial look of non-recognition. It's a misunderstanding, cousin Xiao Yu. As they say, a girl changes 18 times as she grows up. You've changed too much this past year, cousin. I was stunned by your beauty and didn't dare to recognize you for a moment, Xiao Chen hurriedly explained. In truth, combining his past life and this one, Xiao Chen was still a virgin. Since coming to this world, he had been obsessed with cultivation. The only girl he interacted with much was Zunner, and he really didn't know how to deal with girls. You, when did you become so glib-tongued? Xiao Yu had intended to tease Xiao Chen, but his words made her feel embarrassed instead. Looking at Xiao Chen's handsome face, which almost rivaled the looks of the readers, Xiao Yu recalled various scenes of him cultivating diligently back at the Xiao family. A young girl's heart is easily stirred. Xiao Yu had harbored feelings for this number one genius of the Xiao family since childhood, and a hint of pink dyed her face. Cousin Xiao Yu, when did you come to the academy? How is the Xiao family doing? I've been buried in my cultivation for the past year and haven't had much correspondence with the family. Xiao Chen quickly smoothed things over, seeing Xiao Yu's love-struck expression. Jianan Academy went to Wooten City for recruitment. I met the requirements and only arrived recently. The Xiao family is doing very well. They annexed 2 major families, and now the Xiao family is flourishing. It's just that something went wrong with Xiao Yan. Clan Chief Xiao Zhan told me to ask if you have any healing methods when I came here. Hearing Xiao Chen's voice, Xiao Yu finally snapped out of her memories and spoke about the Xiao family's situation. Is that so? I understand. It is indeed a bit bizarre, Duchi slowly falling. I will do my best to look for a solution. Hearing Xiao Yu mention Xiao Yan's Duchi regression, Xiao Chen knew that Yao Lao's test for Xiao Yan had begun. In the original story, Xiao Yan became famous at a young age and was arrogant. Coupled with Xiao Zhan using his authority as clan chief to privately give Xiao Yan cultivation resources, he was mocked by everyone after his Du Qi fell. Now, because of Xiao Chen, Xiao Yan was not as defiant as before. And Xiao Zhan had not shown him favoritism. Therefore, Xiao Yan was not subjected to endless ridicule like in the original plot. Xiao Chen did not intend to interfere in this matter. Xiao Yan's achievement as the Flame Emperor was inseparable from his childhood hardships and the 3-year agreement. This is the cultivation resources the family asked me to bring you. Xiao Yu took out a storage ring and handed it to Xiao Chen. These resources aren't very useful to me now. You keep them. You've just arrived at the academy and need resources. You've come at the right time. I am now an alchemist. These are medicinal pills I usually refine. They will be very helpful for your current cultivation. Xiao Chen pushed back the storage ring Xiao Yu offered and took out several jade bottles from his own storage ring, handing them to her. This won't do. These are too precious. Xiao Yu wanted to refuse. As the older cousin, what would it look like to take her younger cousin's things? Keep them. We are both members of the Xiao family. We need to help each other when we're away. Besides, if you become stronger, you can better protect yourselves and the Xiao family. If you have trouble in the academy, come find me. We Xiao family members cannot let outsiders bully us. Xiao Chen pushed Xiao Yu's hand back again. The two went back and forth like relatives giving red envelopes during the new year. During the back and forth, Xiao Chen's hand accidentally touched Xiao Yu's. Xiao Yu retracted her hands like a startled rabbit and ran away with the resources, her face flushed red. This little girl, usually so boisterous. Xiao Chen found Xiao Yu's panicked flight somewhat amusing. After running a distance, Xiao Yu looked back and saw that Xiao Chen hadn't followed, which let her breathe a sigh of relief. She calmed her racing heart and then remembered to check the jade bottles in her hand. They were a dazzling array of various cultivation pills. Her small mouth hung open in an O shape from surprise. "Yuer, what are you doing? Which man are you thinking about?" A girl with a pretty face and a pair of milky white breasts that seemed ready to burst from her chest appeared in front of Xiao Yu. If Xiao Chen were here, he would surely exclaim at how broad-minded this girl was. Zunai saw the jade bottles and storage ring in Xiao Yu's hand, and her small hands tickled Xiao Yu's sides. "Tell me, which wild man gave these to you? Confess and be treated with leniency, resist and be punished severely." All right. I just want to give a message to a cousin and deliver some resources from the family, but this cousin is a bit too generous." Xiao Yu brushed away Zunai's wandering hands and explained, recalling the touch of their hands and Xiao Chen's face. The blush that had just faded returned to her cheeks. "From the direction you came, was it Xiao Chen? Your cousin is actually Xiao Chen. Oh right, you both have the surname Xiao. Are you closely related? Is there something going on between you two? Introduce me to him sometime." Zunai was first incredulous upon hearing that Xiao Yu's cousin was Xiao Chen, then she grabbed Xiao Yu and wouldn't stop questioning her. "You know Xiao Chen too? Xiao Chen and I are many generations apart. I just call him cousin. We grew up together. How could there be anything going on? Zunai, don't talk nonsense." Xiao Yu was surprised that Zunai knew Xiao Chen and was made red-faced by Zunai's suggestion of an affair. "You just got to the academy, so you don't know yet. Xiao Chen is a celebrity in the outer academy of our Jianan Academy. He's the youngest Du Master, and as a Du Master, he suppressed several great Du Master students. I heard he recently made a breakthrough to Great Du Master." "Oh right, I heard Xiao Chen is also an extremely outstanding alchemist. His alchemy skills have already surpassed Fire Elder of the Alchemy Department. I heard that not only is Xiao Chen very low-key, but he's also very handsome. Who knows how many girls in our outer academy admire him. It's just that Xiao Chen is obsessed with cultivation and alchemy and rarely does anything else. You must introduce me to him. Zunai became more and more excited talking about Xiao Chen's deeds, her words filled with admiration for him. Young girls admire the strong. Xiao Chen didn't have Xiao Yan's trash protagonist script, so he had many admirers wherever he went. Xiao Yu looked at her increasingly excited best friend and couldn't help but think of Xiao Chen, his handsome face, and so he has already become that dazzling. I must also cultivate hard. Xiao Yu thought to herself, while also gripping the jade bottles in her hand a bit tighter. Flags fluttered, and the circular spectator stands were packed with Jia Nan Academy students and instructors who had come to watch the competition. On the high platform, Hu Gan and several outer academy elders sat in a row. With a command from Hu Gan, the inner academy selection tournament officially began. The first match, Yang Wei from Yellow Rank Class 1 versus Su Kun from Yellow Rank Class 2. Xiao Chen also sat in the spectator area of Jiang Tao's class, watching the matches one by one. With Xiao Chen's current strength, watching these competitions was undoubtedly like watching children play house. Even without consuming the life-devouring pill, with Xiao Chen's original strength as a great Do Master, taking first place would be a very simple matter. 2 days ago, Hu Gan had approached Xiao Chen, intending to let him enter the inner academy early. Xiao Chen did not need to compete, and he was outside the quota for entering the inner academy. He would receive the same opportunity as the top 5 finishers in the selection tournament to go to the treasure pavilion and select a treasure. Xiao Chen thought about it and agreed. Given his current strength, he indeed did not need to compete. If Hu Gan hadn't come to him, he would have gone to Hu Gan to apply for early entry into the inner academy anyway. He had a great interest in the fallen heart flame, which was known as the cultivation cheat device of the Jia Nan Academy's inner academy. Time passed as the matches proceeded and concluded one by one. The spots for the inner academy had already been determined, and the next step was to decide the top 5. The top 5 in the selection tournament would earn the opportunity to enter the treasure pavilion to obtain a treasure. Inner Academy Selection Tournament, first match, Liu Bei versus Shihao. The names called out by the referee made Xiao Chen shudder. He abruptly looked at the student named Shihao on the arena, whose strength was an 8-star Do Master. Phew, it probably isn't that guy who loves drinking beast milk, but that Liu Bei does have quite large ears, and his weapon is a pair of twin swords. Interesting. Seeing that it wasn't that figure, Xiao Chen breathed a sigh of relief. After all, that was Huang. In the end, Liu Bei was knocked off the arena, and Shihao won a difficult victory. Next match, Han Yue versus Tang Xiaosan. What the hell, another expert? Xiao Chen didn't expect that in this small inner academy selection tournament, a gathering of gods would actually occur. The man named Tang Xiaosan had short black hair, dark skin, a thin body that looked somewhat malnourished, and was only about 1.5 meters tall. His opponent, Han Yue, had light purple hair tied into a high ponytail, outstanding features, and was dressed in light purple clothing. Her long legs were wrapped in black silk stockings, and a pair of black high boots protected her jade-like feet. She was indeed Han Yue from the twin sisters of the Han family in the original work. As the referee announced the start of the match, Tang Xiaosan launched the first attack. His weapon was a long whip woven from blue grass. Tang Xiaosan brandished the long whip in his hand, with green Du Qi attached to the blue whip, ready to strike. Blue silver vine bind. 666. You're not even trying to hide it anymore, are you? Xiao Chen couldn't help but complain while watching Tang Xiaosan's weapon and Do technique. The blue long whip launched a fierce offensive against Han Yue. Relying on her footwork as a 9-star Do Master, Han Yue dodged them one by one. She summoned a sharp, long sword from her storage ring and unleashed a Do technique to attack Tang Xiaosan. Once a long whip-type weapon is closed in upon, its power is greatly reduced. Tang Xiaosan was an 8-star Do Master, and there was a 1-star gap in Do Qi rank between the two. Coupled with the fact that Han Yue's cultivation technique was of a higher rank, it didn't take long for Tang Xiaosan to be unable to hold on and voluntarily concede. Han Yue wins. Next match, Liu Qing versus Li Feiyu. 666, Heavenly Venerable Han. Xiao Chen had just recovered from the previous match with Tang Xiaosan, but this one was even more heaven-defying. Just then, Liu Qing summoned his weapon, a pitch-black long spear. It was the mountain-splitting spear, its tip gleaming with a cold light. Green Du Qi erupted from Liu Qing's body, like a tiger ready to pounce, waiting only for the referee to call start before striking instantly. Ready. Seeing Liu Qing's aura, Li Feiyu frowned. Wait, I am no match for you. I voluntarily concede. Before the referee could react, Li Feiyu used strange footwork to run to an inconspicuous corner behind the crowd. Liu Qing wins. The referee announced the result of the match. Watching this stuff makes me wide awake. This year's competition was comparable to the comedy sketches of the early spring festival galas, and it even amused Xiao Chen, a person of transmigration. The matches ended one after another, and the top 5 were decided. First place, Lin Ziuya. Second place, Liu Qing. Third place, Yan Hao. Fourth place, Lin Yan. Fifth place, Han Yue. Xiao Chen looked at the top 5. They were all old acquaintances. To think he was in the same batch as Lin Ziuya and the others. I announce that the Inner Academy selection tournament has concluded. The qualifying personnel from this competition will enter the Inner Academy to cultivate. Additionally, the top 5 have one opportunity to enter the Treasure Pavilion. There is one more thing. In addition to you students, Xiao Chen will also enter the Inner Academy early to cultivate, and he also possesses one opportunity to enter the Treasure Pavilion. Hu Gan's words stirred up 1,000 waves, and the previously quiet crowd became lively. Xiao Chen, is that the youngest Du Master, Xiao Chen? It must be him. I heard that Xiao Chen has already reached the Great Du Master rank after only 1 year of enrollment. Then why didn't he participate in the selection? Does this count as pulling strings? Upon hearing Hu Gan's announcement, Xiao Chen knew that this old guy was digging a hole for him. He wanted to use his hands to suppress the students' arrogance, urge the outer academy students to cultivate harder, and let the inner academy see the quality of this year's students. This is going to be troublesome again. Sure enough, several of the candidates selected for the inner academy were unconvinced. Why should we work ourselves to death participating in the selection while he, Xiao Chen, gets promoted directly and can even go to the Treasure Pavilion? So what if his talent is high? Even with high talent, he should have to follow the procedure. Xiao Yu, sitting in the spectator stands, heard people nearby discussing how Xiao Chen was pulling strings. She wanted to defend him, but how could she silence the public on her own? She could only sit there and worry in vain. Xiao Chen knew that if he didn't make a statement, it would be difficult to convince the crowd. Since the dean wanted him to show off and suppress the students, Xiao Chen didn't mind putting on a show. Xiao Chen stood up from his seat. Without using Du Qi wings, he suddenly exerted force with his feet and shot into the center of the arena like a cannonball. The arena was instantly dented by Xiao Chen's feet, creating a depression. Those who are unconvinced, come at me together. Fighting one by one is too time-consuming. The depression beneath Xiao Chen's feet caused cracks to spread outward from his feet, extending all the way to the spectator stands, and the entire arena kicked up a sky full of dust. When the dust settled, everyone saw the insider Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen had grown to a height of 1.8 meters, wearing a black outfit that fit close to his body but was not tight, with a handsome and tough face. Due to years of body refining, every muscle on his body was strong and powerful, yet not overly bulky, making his clothes look very aesthetically pleasing. In daily life and social interactions, Xiao Chen looked very approachable and calm. However, once he entered a combat state, due to absorbing the dragon talisman and experiencing numerous life-and-death battles after joining the law enforcement team, he would emit a kind of dragon's majesty, with sharp eyes and piercing killing intent. This method of entrance was full of oppression, and the weaker Du masters on the field were already so shaken by the dragon's majesty and killing intent that their legs went weak. "I'm convinced. I won't disturb you, I'm leaving." The speaker was Lin Yan. He had long since learned of Xiao Chen's combat power, so naturally he dared not provoke this god of slaughter, Xiao Chen, again. "I have no objections either." Han Yue also knew when to retreat. Even Lin Yan wouldn't fight, and she was not as good as Lin Yan. Going up wouldn't serve any purpose anyway. Seeing that even the battle fanatic Lin Yan had left, the others followed suit. They had all been selected, so why go and get a beating? In a short while, more than half the people had left, with only Lin Ziuya, Liu Qing, Yan Hao, and a few others remaining on the arena. As a prominent figure in the outer academy, Lin Ziuya also had some arrogance. He had long heard of Xiao Chen's deeds, but he didn't believe that Xiao Chen could be that strong. After all, he was only 11 years old. Liu Qing was purely bellicose. Looking at Xiao Chen's physical body, he just wanted to have a brawl between men with Xiao Chen. As for Yan Hao, he stayed because he saw Lin Ziuya hadn't left, and the remaining few were much the same. "Very good, come at me together. I will use only my physical body to fight you. If you can force me to use Du Qi, then you win." Xiao Chen struck the coolest pose while saying the most arrogant words. "Junior Xiao Chen, aren't you being a bit too arrogant?" Lin Ziuya said to Xiao Chen. It could be seen that even he, who was usually approachable, had been provoked by Xiao Chen's contempt. "Good, let's have a real man's fight. I hope you can satisfy me." Liu Qing flexed his fists, his eyes burning with battle intent, and said excitedly. After Liu Qing finished speaking, he circulated his qi and charged toward Xiao Chen, intending to engage in close-quarters combat. Just as Liu Qing's heavy, qi-enveloped fist was about to make contact with Xiao Chen moved. Xiao Chen merely extended one finger and blocked Liu Qing's qi-enveloped fist. "How is this possible?" Liu Qing exclaimed in shock, staring at his fist that could not advance even an inch. "Weak!" With a flick of Xiao Chen's finger, Liu Qing was sent flying backward. Liu Qing spun his body frantically in the air to dissipate the force, retreating to the edge of the arena and barely stabilizing his footing. "I didn't expect the gap to be this massive," Liu Qing muttered, flexing his arm, which had been numbed by the impact. To knock back Liu Qing with just one finger, what kind of monster is this Xiao Chen? The audience in the stands cried out in alarm. "How does this Xiao Chen cultivate? Even I couldn't deal with Liu Qing so easily. He truly has the capital to be arrogant." Lin Ziuya was also deeply shaken by Xiao Chen's strength. "Come at me together, otherwise you won't have a single chance," Xiao Chen invited. "Attack together." Everyone summoned their weapons, surrounding Xiao Chen in the center of the arena, with colorful qi filling the space. As everyone unleashed various weapons upon Xiao Chen, he merely raised his hands to parry, blocking every single attack. After fighting for a long time, and seeing that not even a speck of dust had touched Xiao Chen's clothes, Lin Ziuya and his group realized they had to use their ultimate moves. "Bring out your trump cards." After Lin Ziuya's reminder, everyone began charging their Du techniques. Sign Annihilation Sword Qi. Great Rending Coffin-Splitting Claw. Seeing that they were ready to use their trump cards, Xiao Chen finally got a little serious and adopted a defensive stance. Various colored Du techniques and qi surged toward Xiao Chen simultaneously, their momentum shaking the heavens. "Quickly activate the formation." Hu Gan, seeing the momentum, reminded the elder beside him. The elder spread his qi wings and flew into the air, injecting qi from his fingertips into the arena. A semicircular qi protective barrier immediately rose, isolating the arena. Seeing the attacks coming from all directions, Xiao Chen curled his lips upward. "Let me show you ultimate power." After speaking, Xiao Chen raised his right hand high and clenched his fist. Veins bulged, muscles engorged, and his entire arm swelled, bursting through his right sleeve. He slammed his powerful right fist into the ground. Boom! The arena instantly shattered with Xiao Chen at the center. The space around him was cracked by this punch, and the attacks from Lin Ziuya and the others were crushed into nothingness by the spatial shockwave generated by the punch. Not good, quick. Lin Ziuya and the others were blown away by the airwave before they could even react. The shockwave spread like ripples, and the moment it touched the protective formation, the formation shattered, finally stopping at the edge of the stands. Xiao Chen had deliberately controlled his strength, showing off while ensuring no lives were lost. This could only be achieved with absolute mastery over one's own strength. Rescue the students! Hu Gan, stunned by Xiao Chen's strength, immediately ordered the elders to clean up the mess. He thought to himself that if he had known Xiao Chen's destructive power was this great, he wouldn't have bothered. The smoke cleared, revealing Xiao Chen standing in the center of the ruins. He approached Lin Ziuya and the others, who were lying injured. He took out healing medicinal pills from his storage ring and fed them to each person, though in reality, he used the power of the horse Talisman to heal their injuries. After consuming the medicinal pills, their pain vanished instantly, and their legs no longer felt sore. The students were all dumbfounded. Relying solely on the strength of his physical body, I'm afraid even a Du Wang expert couldn't achieve this with their full strength. Xiao Chen is terrifyingly strong. Xiao Yu was also so shocked that she covered her small mouth. She knew Xiao Chen was strong, but she hadn't expected him to be this strong. Recalling the rumors of the mysterious expert who had wiped out 2 major families, her heart thundered like muffled lightning. Beside her, Zhu Nai's eyes were already filled with hearts, unable to pull herself away from gazing at Xiao Chen. Looking at the arena destroyed like this and the defensive formation blasted into dust, Hu Gan had a massive headache, but couldn't help but sigh. My student, Xiao Chen, has the potential of a Dai. Sorry, Dean. I haven't fought in a long time and didn't hold back much. Don't worry, I'll pay for the damages. Xiao Chen scratched his head, feeling a bit embarrassed, and offered compensation. After all, as an alchemist, he lacked nothing in terms of wealth. Plus, with the loot he gathered in the Black Corner region, Xiao Chen could be considered richer than a nation. Brother Xiao Chen, I apologize. We previously thought you were a nepotism hire and offended you. After being healed by Xiao Chen, Lin Ziuya and the others had recovered and immediately came to Xiao Chen to cup their fists in apology. We become friends through fighting. We are all classmates. Xiao Chen had always appreciated them, so he naturally didn't mind. In this world, one is only respected if they have strength. Lin Ziuya, Liu Qing, and the others chatted enthusiastically with Xiao Chen, planning their next sparring session. After finishing, they returned to rest, all feeling that this battle had given them a new opportunity for a breakthrough. In reality, it was because Xiao Chen had used the horse Talisman to heal their injuries, while also curing some hidden wounds they had previously sustained, which was why they had a new opportunity for a breakthrough. If others knew about their changes, the line of people coming to get beaten up by Xiao Chen would probably stretch from Jianan Academy all the way to Wooten City. After all, as long as you get a beating, you can have a breakthrough. Since they were all classmates and Xiao Chen wouldn't use lethal force, why not? The selection tournament came to an end, and the name of Xiao Chen became the topic of discussion for everyone in the Outer Academy. Xiao Chen's reputation in the Outer Academy surpassed Lin Ziuya's, making him the #1 genius of the Outer Academy. Because Lin Ziuya and the others had new breakthroughs, Hu Gan said he would wait for them to finish their breakthroughs before taking them to the library pavilion to choose treasures. Xiao Chen didn't mind waiting a few days and continued to cultivate. During this time, Xiao Yu came to find Xiao Chen once, asking if he was injured and mentioning that she would be returning to the Xiao family in a while, asking if Xiao Chen had any messages to pass along. Hearing that Xiao Yu was returning to the Xiao family, Zio Chen took out a storage ring containing 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and even some 4th grade medicinal pills he had refined in the past, as well as some dew techniques and cultivation techniques he had obtained in the Black Corner region. He handed the storage ring to Zio Yu, hoping she would bring it to the Zio family, and asked her to pass a message to Zio Yan that once he entered the Inner Academy, he would go to the Inner Academy's library pavilion to look for a way to restore his qi. Worried about Zio Yu's safety on the journey back, Zio Chen also prepared some defensive items for her. Just 2 days later, Hu Gan brought Lin Ziuya and the others to find Zio Chen, indicating that he was going to take them to the library pavilion. The group followed Hu Gan to the entrance of the library pavilion, where Hu Gan respectfully cupped his fists toward the library pavilion and explained the purpose of their visit. After Hu Gan finished speaking, Zio Chen could feel the space in front of him fluctuate, and 2 elderly men in black robes appeared on the left and right sides of the library pavilion entrance. These 2 elders had completely restrained their aura, but Zio Chen could feel that their strength had reached the peak of Du Zong, just 1 step away from Du Zun. The 2 elders Qian Bai are indeed powerful. They are worthy of being the Academy's guardians, Zio Chen thought to himself. As soon as the 2 elders Qian Bai came out, they keenly sensed Zio Chen's extraordinariness and asked him, "What is your name?" Zio Chen cupped his fists. "Senior, this junior's name is Zio Chen. 12 years old with unfathomable strength, a physical body as strong as a morphed demonic beast, and such powerful soul power," one of the elders said. Good. I didn't expect such an outstanding student to appear in this batch. My Jianan Academy has found a treasure." "Senior, you flatter me. This junior still needs to work harder." Facing the praise, Zio Chen remained calm. "Good." As they spoke, the 2 began to undo the spatial lock, and Hu Gan also explained the origin of the spatial lock to the group. "It is opened. You must come out within the allotted time, and each person can only take 1 treasure." After saying this, the 2 elders Qian Bai disappeared. Zio Chen and the others walked slowly into the library pavilion. The space inside the library pavilion was vast. As they entered, a formation beneath their feet lit up, lifting them into the air. The voice of an old man echoed within the library pavilion, explaining the rules to them. "You may choose any treasure within the library pavilion, but each person can only take 1. The prerequisite is that you must be able to extract the treasure from the energy layer and bring it out within the allotted time." After speaking, the pavilion fell silent. "Time is limited. We can all state what we're looking for and search together," Zio Chen suggested. "That's a good idea. I'll follow your lead." Ever since witnessing Zio Chen's capabilities, Lin Yan was quite convinced by him and agreed. "All right, it'll be faster if we help each other. I want to find a..." The others also agreed with Zio Chen's plan and voiced their desires one after another. "Good, let's split up. Give a shout if you find something," Zio Chen said before flying off to search nearby. Zio Chen grabbed the nearest darting purple energy layer. He reached his hand inside. There was resistance, but it was negligible before Zio Chen's tyrannical strength. Profound rank high-level cultivation technique, Purple Thunder secret. "Pity, it's not what I want." Zio Chen released the purple scroll, which expanded back into a purple energy layer and flew away. These energy layers have a repulsive force. The higher the rank, the stronger the repulsion should be. If you find something you can't open, you can come to me. Zio Chen knew the rules from the original story, but he pretended to have just discovered them while explaining to the group. After understanding, the group continued their search within the pavilion. "Junior Zio Chen, I've found a die-rank do technique here, but with my strength, it's a bit difficult to take it out." While Zio Chen was still searching, a clear and melodious female voice sounded nearby. Zio Chen looked over and saw Han Yue. She was holding a blue light orb, and his perception confirmed there was a scroll inside that was undoubtedly a Dai-rank Du technique. Xiao Chen took the blue light orb from Han Yue. His hand reached in without the slightest hindrance, and after taking it out, he sensed it with his soul power. Dai-rank high-level Du technique, Heavenly Might soul-suppressing art, incomplete manual. It's actually a soul technique. Even an incomplete manual is at the Earth rank. If completed, it might reach the Heaven rank or even beyond. Xiao Chen thought to himself as he looked at the Du technique. He had come to the library pavilion specifically to find a soul attack Du technique. This was truly like being handed a pillow just as he was getting sleepy. Senior Han Yue, this is a soul Du technique, and it's exactly what I need. If possible, I'd like to exchange with you, Xiao Chen said to Han Yue. No problem, Junior. If not for you, I wouldn't have been able to take it even if I caught it, Han Yue said generously, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Senior, you're looking for a high-level cultivation technique that suits you, right? I'll help you find one as an exchange. To thank Han Yue, Xiao Chen took the initiative to offer his help. With Xiao Chen's strength, there was nothing in this library pavilion he couldn't take out. He soon found a Du technique suitable for Han Yue. Before long, with little treasure-hunting time remaining, everyone had obtained the treasures they wanted and left the library pavilion before time ran out. The group parted ways at the entrance of the library pavilion, all eager to return and familiarize themselves with their new Du techniques and cultivation techniques. Seeing that Han Yue still hadn't left, Xiao Chen stepped forward to ask, Senior Han Yue, is there anything else? Junior Xiao Chen, thank you for helping me find a cultivation technique today. If it were just me, it would have been impossible to find such a high-level technique. Han Yue tidied her appearance and walked up to Xiao Chen. You're welcome, Senior. You helped me find what I wanted, so helping you in exchange is only fair and reasonable. Xiao Chen actually felt he had gotten the better end of the deal. After all, soul techniques were already rare on the Fighting Qi continent, let alone such a high-level one. I still must thank you. If you need anything in the future, you can contact me anytime. I can. As Han Yue spoke her thanks, she seemed to think of something, and her small face turned bright red. Really, anything. Seeing Han Yue's blushing face, Xiao Chen felt like teasing her. As long as it's not too much. At this moment, Han Yue didn't have the demeanor of the future boss of the Inner Academy's Moon Spirit Gang. She was like a young girl in love, her blushing face making one want to tease her mercilessly. Seeing Han Yue's shy appearance, Xiao Chen also snapped out of it and silently recited a heart-calming mantra. He was only 12 years old, and Han Yue wasn't that old either. He was a law-abiding young man. Don't worry, Senior. When I need help, I certainly won't be polite. Go back early. I still need to go familiarize myself with my new Du technique. Xiao Chen suggested heading back, and thus returned to his small courtyard. Xiao Chen picked up the scroll and probed it with his soul power. Channel one's own majestic soul power to transform into heavenly Tao pressure, descending from the heavens to suppress the sea of consciousness. The victim's soul feels as if crushed by a mountain. In an instant, their mind shatters and their battle intent vanishes. Even if the physical body is unharmed, they will be forced to crawl on the ground by this overbearing soul pressure, losing all combat capability. What an overbearing soul technique. With my current soul power at the spirit realm, after practicing this, even high-level Du Zongs might not be my match. A soul technique can have a surprising effect. Xiao Chen's face was full of excitement. Without another word, Xiao Chen began to cultivate. During this period, Han Yue visited twice, and Liu Qing and Lin Ziuya came once, but none saw Xiao Chen emerge from seclusion. There was no helping it. Xiao Chen loved to cultivate too much. A few days later. Today was the day to enter the Inner Academy, so Xiao Chen stopped his cultivation and emerged early. On the way, he ran into Han Yue and the other students entering the Inner Academy. Chatting all the way, the group, led by Hugan, boarded a flying boat to traverse through space and enter the inner academy. Time passed amidst the students' curiosity, and the flying boat stopped at the entrance of a forest. Two old men, wearing the robes of inner academy elders, stood at the entrance. Once Zio Chen and the others disembarked, the two elders spoke. Although you have passed the qualifying matches and earned the right to cultivate in the inner academy, the true test has only just begun. After speaking, the elder waved his hand, and cards flew into the hands of Zio Chen and the others. This is a fire crystal card, which can store fire energy. You will need fire energy for everything you do in the inner academy. In the forest behind me are senior students of the inner academy. They will snatch the fire energy from your hands. Your goal this time is to avoid or defeat them and reach the forest exit. Good luck to you all. We call this activity the Fire Energy Hunting Competition. After the elder finished speaking, he spread his wings and flew away. Junior Zio Chen, what should we do? Han Yue looked at Zio Chen, wanting to hear his opinion. The elder said fire energy is very useful in the inner academy. Since they can rob us, why can't we rob them in return? Zio Chen's goal in the inner academy was the fallen heart flame, so naturally, the more fire energy, the better. The people nearby were shocked by Zio Chen's idea. Others were thinking about how to prevent being robbed, yet Zio Chen was already calculating how to rob others. Zio Chen, can we form a team? The seniors are powerful. If we team up, we might actually pull it off. The speaker was Lin Ziuya. He also agreed with Zio Chen's approach and believed that with Zio Chen's strength, he wouldn't be inferior to the seniors. Fine, you can team up with me, but I can't work for nothing. Each person give me 2 points of fire energy as a protection fee. Zio Chen acted like a gang boss, collecting protection fees from everyone. Zio Chen, we're classmates after all. Isn't it a bit unethical to collect protection fees? Exactly. I don't believe we can't get out of this forest without you, Zio Chen. I'll pay. Looking at Han Yue, who transferred the points without hesitation, Zio Chen thought. As expected of the Moonlight Senior, she has good foresight. Anyone else, this offer won't last, Zio Chen promoted. In the end, only a few people paid the protection fee and stayed. Lin Ziuya, Liu Qing, and others chose to team up with the rest and enter the forest because they couldn't bear to lose face. Zio Chen's side had Han Yue, Lin Yan, and a few Du Master students. Brother Chen, I've paid the fee. From now on, I'll call you Brother Chen. Lin Yan hovered around Zio Chen, the spitting image of a lackey. Zio Chen was also somewhat speechless. In the original story, how did Lin Yan become a lackey just because he got a beating? Watching Zio Chen's speechless expression caused by Lin Yan's behavior, Han Yue covered her mouth and giggled. All right, I won't say much more. Since you trust me, I will surely protect your fire energy and safety and lead you out of the forest. After Zio Chen finished speaking, he led the group into the forest. Zio Chen and his group entered the forest, utilizing their movement techniques to dash toward the forest's exit. Before long, they encountered several senior students. Junior, hand over your fire energy obediently, and you might avoid a beating, a senior student said, dressed in inner academy attire and weighing a dagger in his hand as he threatened Zio Chen and the others. And if I don't? Zio Chen crossed his arms over his chest, staring at the senior with a slight smile. Then don't blame us for taking it by force. Don't take it personally. We went through the same thing when we were new. The senior was not new to this situation and was prepared to set some rules for the freshmen. I'll give the same words back to you. Hand over your fire energy obediently, and you'll avoid a beating. Zio Chen mimicked the senior's tone, speaking ruthlessly. Arrogant. Several people joined forces to attack Zio Chen's group. Then I won't be polite. A mischievous grin appeared on the corner of Zio Chen's mouth. With an eerie speed, he took down the seniors with just a few punches and kicks. Stop, stop. We'll hand over the fire energy. The seniors clutched their swollen faces and took out their fire crystal cards to plead for mercy. That's more like it. Xiao Chen left 5 days' worth of fire energy for each person and transferred the rest into his own fire crystal card. Brother Chen, you're incredible. Lin Yan and the others were stunned by Xiao Chen's efficiency. This protection fee was well worth it. This trial was originally meant to train everyone. You all should take action as well. I'll handle anyone you can't deal with, and we'll divide the gains based on contribution when the time comes. Xiao Chen said to the group as he put the fire crystal card into his storage ring. The others were somewhat moved. With a powerhouse like Xiao Chen to rely on, they just needed to go for it. All right, Brother Chen, we're with you. Subsequently, Xiao Chen's small team began their rob the rich to help the poor operation. Word also spread among the seniors that a freshman team was robbing seniors of their fire energy. These freshmen are too arrogant. Every year it's the seniors robbing the freshmen, but this year a real troublemaker has appeared. The seniors discussed nipping this precedent of robbing seniors in the bud. Outside the forest, several Inner Academy elders were sitting here, along with Hu Gan and the Inner Academy Grand Elder Su Kaiyan. They were all watching the fire energy hunting competition through a circular mirror in front of them. This team led by Xiao Chen has actually started snatching fire energy from the seniors. He truly is bold because of his high skill. All of this must be supported by sufficient strength. I wonder what Xiao Chen's actual strength is. Old man Hu Gan, why can't I see through this kid Xiao Chen's realm? An Inner Academy elder asked Hu Gan, who was stroking his beard beside him. Xiao Chen is the #1 genius of my outer academy, and arguably the greatest genius in the history of our Jia Nan Academy. He broke through to the Du Wang realm not long ago. His strength has even left the Grand Elder and the 2 elders Kaiyan Bai full of praise. Hu Gan stroked his beard, his face filled with pride, as if Xiao Chen were his own grandson-in-law. Oh, a Du Wang. What, a Du Wang? How old is this kid? Several elders widened their eyes, thinking they had misheard. He is indeed a Du Wang, and a 12-year-old Du Wang at that. Even I cannot see through his true strength. Su Kaiyan spoke up, explaining how Xiao Chen had broken through to Du Wang. To think such a miraculous medicinal pill exists. While this pill might be a disaster for others, for a genius like Xiao Chen, it undoubtedly puts him far ahead of his peers right from the starting line. The elders lamented. In cultivation, being 1 step ahead means being every step ahead. The younger generation is truly formidable, truly formidable. Xiao Chen and his group were still harvesting the seniors. During this time, there were several joint encirclements by the seniors, but they were all crushed by Xiao Chen's overwhelming strength. Xiao Chen was fine, but it was tough for Lin Yan, Han Yue, and the others. They could handle 1 or 2 seniors, but they had no way to deal with a group of seniors attacking them at once. If not for Xiao Chen, they would have likely been stripped of their fire energy long ago. Although they felt aggrieved from being hit by the seniors, their harvest was bountiful. Following Xiao Chen to rob the seniors, Xiao Chen took the lion's share while they took the smaller portion, but even that small portion amounted to a lot of fire energy. Along the way, they saw many students who had been robbed of all their fire energy, some even covered in bruises from trying to resist. By following Xiao Chen, they not only preserved their own fire energy, but could also earn some more. As time passed, there weren't many seniors left. Xiao Chen and the others even spotted Lin Ziuya, Liu Qing, and the others hiding from the seniors. Looking at their condition, they had clearly clashed with seniors and hadn't gained much of an advantage. As they were about to exit the forest, several senior students had already been waiting there for a long time. Xiao Chen figured they must be the Black Fiend team. The leader was a 9-star Great Du Master. My name is Luo Li, and I am the captain of the Black Shark team. Xiao Chen, not bad. The news of you organizing freshmen to rob fire energy has already reached the Inner Academy. I have to admit that your batch of freshmen has some skill. However, it has always been the seniors robbing the freshmen. This is the rule, and everyone has gone through it. If you want to set this precedent, I think you'd better wait." As soon as Luo Li finished speaking, he erupted with the strength of a 9-star Great Du Master. After manifesting his Du Qi armor, he brandished a large blade and slashed toward Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen stood motionless. When the large blade reached him, he caught it between his right index and middle fingers. The blade, wrapped in yellow Du Qi as it slashed towards him, was firmly caught. No matter how hard Luo Li struggled, he could not move it an inch further. Xiao Chen applied force with his fingers. Luo Li felt the blade in his hand hum before it was violently snapped by Xiao Chen's grip. Xiao Chen then extended his left hand, slightly bending and flicking his index and middle fingers. The fingers, which looked completely non-threatening, struck Luo Li like a heavy hammer. Luo Li's Great Du Master armor shattered instantly. He was sent flying, snapping several large trees before finally stopping when he crashed into and became embedded in a mountain rock. "How can he be this strong?" These were Luo Li's last words before he fainted. "Captain!" The other members of the Black Fiend team saw this and rushed over to dig Luo Li out of the rock. The entire process happened too quickly. Only a few breaths had passed from Luo Li's attack to his instant defeat. "Don't worry, he's fine. He just needs to lie down for a week." Facing enemies, Xiao Chen was decisive, but facing these fellow students, he was holding back his strength. Hearing Xiao Chen's words, the others finally felt relieved. "Hand over the fire energy obediently, and don't make my brother Chen wait," Lin Yan said from the side, acting tough on Xiao Chen's authority. The members of the Black Fiend team were unwilling, but had no choice. Their strongest captain couldn't even take one hit from Xiao Chen, let alone them. They all took out their fire crystal cards. They had thought that after finally becoming seniors, they could bully the freshmen and earn some fire energy along the way. They didn't expect such a monster to appear. Not only did they not get to experience the fun of bullying freshmen, but they even lost their own fire energy. Xiao Chen took the fire crystal cards from Lin Yan's hand. He now had more fire energy than he could ever use. "Let's go, it's time to head out," Xiao Chen said to Lin Yan, Han Yue, and the others as he put away the fire crystal cards. The group walked toward the exit. They arrived at the forest exit, where a suspension bridge connected to the other side. On the other side of the suspension bridge stood 5 students dressed in white attire. 4 Great Du Master Peaks and 1 Du Ling. "The White Fiend team's lineup is decent," Xiao Chen murmured to himself. "What?" The people behind him were terrified by Xiao Chen's words. The White Fiend team was much stronger than the Black Fiend team. "Will you hand over the fire energy yourselves, or will I beat you into submission before you beg to hand it over?" Xiao Chen stepped onto the suspension bridge, stretching his limbs as he walked. "Xiao Chen, is it? Having defeated Luo Li, you indeed have the capital to be arrogant. However, don't think my White Fiend team is as incompetent as that Black Fiend team. I'll make you spit out everything you've taken." Lu Guan, the captain of the White Fiend team, said while pointing at Xiao Chen. "To me, you are at most a slightly larger grasshopper." As Xiao Chen spoke, he had already flashed in front of Lu Guan, again slightly bending and flicking his finger. Lu Guan knew Xiao Chen's strength was extraordinary, but he hadn't expected him to be so fast. He frantically circulated his Du Qi, trying to block this seemingly ordinary strike. As soon as Xiao Chen's finger touched Lu Guan, a massive force instantly shattered Lu Guan's Du Qi defense. Lu Guan stumbled backward. Fortunately, the people beside him reacted quickly and immediately supported him. "How can a mere freshman's strength be so formidable? Just what is your cultivation?" Lu Guan said, exasperated. "No comment," Xiao Chen ignored him. "I might as well test my new move." "Suppress." Xiao Chen hadn't used the heavenly might soul-suppressing art since learning it. He lowered the intensity and activated it with his soul power. The members of the White Fiend team felt their souls being crushed by a massive force. Finally, they couldn't hold on and collapsed unconscious on the ground, losing all ability to fight. After the White Fiend team fell, several elders appeared and announced the end of the competition. Han Yue, Lin Yan, and the others cheered upon hearing this. Liu Qing, Lin Ziuya, and the others who arrived later also breathed a sigh of relief. Hiding and running to protect their fire energy had been too exhausting. Given Xiao Chen's performance and strength, the elder gave him a purple fire crystal card. With this card, he could freely enter and exit any floor of the sky-burning Qi refining tower. Xiao Chen hadn't expected to be given a purple fire crystal card directly, which saved him a lot of trouble. The fire energy hunting competition finally came to an end. The senior sister in charge of leading the way brought Xiao Chen and the others to the residential area. Along the way, she introduced them to some important places in the inner academy and how fire energy is used there. After arriving, Xiao Chen found a place to stay, planning to rest for a bit before going to check out the Heavenly Flame Training Pagoda. Heavenly Flame Training Pagoda. Xiao Chen followed the elders' directions and arrived at the Heavenly Flame Training Pagoda. Billowing magma flowed across the ground, and a tall, ancient pagoda stood amidst the lava. "Open the pagoda," the elder's voice rang out. The inner academy students began scrambling to enter the ancient pagoda, and Xiao Chen followed the large group inside. After passing through a layer of flame barrier, Xiao Chen entered the Heavenly Flame Training Pagoda. Upon entering, the space opened up, with rooms distributed throughout the pagoda. Before he had taken even 2 steps, Xiao Chen felt his heart being roasted by an invisible flame. Xiao Chen knew this was the heart fire roasting from the fallen heart flame. He didn't use the power of the talismanic incantations, but instead circulated his Du Qi to pass through the flames. It truly is a cultivation cheat. If I had come earlier, my cultivation might have been even faster. However, at my current level, this degree of roasting doesn't provide much benefit. Xiao Chen circulated his qi for 1 cycle and woke up from the roasting. The older students around him, who were waiting to see Xiao Chen make a fool of himself, all showed expressions of surprise when they saw him wake up from the heart fire, roasting relying solely on his own strength. To be able to wake up from the roasting so easily by your own strength, you must be the Xiao Chen who led this year's freshmen to snatch the older students' fire energy. An elder appeared in front of Xiao Chen and said, "I am Xiao Chen," Xiao Chen said, cupping his fists. So he's Xiao Chen, the prodigy who defeated the Black Fiend team and White Fiend team with overwhelming force. How can the gap between people be so large? Relying on his amethyst card, Xiao Chen reached the lowest level of the Heavenly Flame Training Pagoda. This place was closest to the fallen heart flame, with the highest flame concentration and the best effect for auxiliary cultivation. As for fire poison, it had no effect on Xiao Chen, who possessed the horse talisman. Although the Heavenly Flame Training Pagoda's boost for a Du Wang's cultivation wasn't as obvious as it was for lower levels, it was still faster than cultivating alone. Xiao Chen sat down and began to cultivate selflessly. Days passed in the inner academy. During this time, Xiao Yu from the outer academy visited Xiao Chen several times, bringing news of the Xiao family and Xiao Yan. Xiao Chen gave Xiao Yu some medicinal pills and cultivation resources for the family. Since he couldn't use these things now anyway, it was better to give them to the Xiao family members to help them increase their strength. He also refined some medicinal pills for Xiao Yan, falsely claiming they were for Xiao Yan to try and see if they could treat his inability to cultivate. Han Yue, Lin Yan, and others also frequently sought out Xiao Chen, wanting him to establish a faction. Xiao Chen refused, saying he was too busy with cultivation and didn't want to manage one. He suggested they establish it, and he would just be a guest elder, telling them to let anyone who was dissatisfied come to him. Finally, the Moon Spirit Gang, a faction established by Han Yue, was formed. Because Xiao Chen was backing it, many students were recruited to join. Lin Yan, adhering to the principle of being wherever Xiao Chen was, also joined the Moon Spirit Gang. There were those who were dissatisfied, but after Han Yue took note of them, Xiao Chen visited them one by one and amiably persuaded them. The rest of his time was spent by Xiao Chen on cultivation. Xiao Chen's own talent far surpassed ordinary people, coupled with the horse and dog talismans allowing him to always cultivate in his peak state, and the tiger talisman allowing him to devour heavenly treasures to increase his strength. Xiao Chen also possessed superb alchemy skills and refined Du Ling pills that could allow a Du Wang expert to increase by 1 star. Along with the support of the Heavenly Flame Training Pagoda. All these factors combined allowed Xiao Chen's cultivation to break through to the peak of Du Wang within a year, only 1 step away from Du Huang. Knock, knock, knock. Xiao Chen, are you there? I've finished all the medicinal pills you refined for me. Hurry up and refine some more for me. A little girl's voice came from outside the door. Listening to the voice outside the door, Xiao Chen was somewhat speechless, but also found it a bit funny. The little girl outside the door was the brute force queen, Zai Yan, from the original story, and she was also the number 1 on the Inner Academy's strong ranking. Anyone who had seen Zai Yan would find it impossible to associate her with the nickname Brute Force Queen. Zai Yan wore a small purple dress, her hair tied in 2 small braids on the left and right. Her height was no different from a child's. She looked like a little lowly. Don't be fooled by Zai Yan being a little lowly, who looked 12 or 13 years old. Xiao Chen conservatively estimated that Zai Yan had existed for 1,000 or 2,000 years. It had probably been decades since Zai Yan was born. She had remained in a child's form because she mistakenly ate a transformation grass. How did Xiao Chen get to know this little lowly and become familiar with her? It traced back to when Xiao Chen was preparing to refine Du Ling pills and went to the Inner Academy's medicinal garden to find medicinal ingredients, where he happened to run into Zai Yan stealing food. Xiao Chen gained Zai Yan's trust by claiming he could make the medicinal ingredients taste better. Over time, the two became well acquainted. Xiao Chen opened the door. Why did it take so long to open the door? I've finished my pills. Refine some more for me. Saying this, she handed the medicinal ingredients in her hand to Xiao Chen and ran to his bed to lie down comfortably on her own. Xiao Chen shook his head, opened the furnace for alchemy, and in a short while, he refined several bottles of medicinal pills. Seeing the pills were finished, Zai Yan took them and shoved them into her mouth, her cheeks bulging as she ate. While eating, she was also mumbling something. Anyway, Xiao Chen couldn't understand a single word. Eat slowly, no one is competing with you, Xiao Chen said, as if tending to a little girl. Don't treat me like a child. I'm saying, Xiao Chen, you're too good. Refining those nasty medicinal ingredients into such delicious pills. I can't do without you, Zai Yan said with her mouth full. If you like them, I'll always refine them for you to eat. Xiao Chen patted Zai Yan's small head. I said don't treat me like a child. Zai Yan swatted away Xiao Chen's large hand from her head. Didn't you say last time that a big white gorilla bullied you? Today we'll go and take care of him. Last time, Zai Yan had mentioned it to Xiao Chen, and he thought of the snow demon sky ape from the original story. The snow demon sky ape guarded the earth core body tempering fluid, which was a rare heavenly treasure born beneath the earth, compressed from pure earth power over long ages. Not only could it cleanse the marrow and temper the bones, but it could also help one break through a bottleneck. Xiao Chen planned to use the earth core body tempering fluid to break through to Du Huang in one go. Great. I've been annoyed with that stinky gorilla for a long time. Before, I just wanted to see his treasure, and he kept chasing and hitting me. Hearing Xiao Chen mention the snow demon sky ape, Zai Yan recalled her humiliating experience of being chased by it and clenched her small fists with a look of resentment. Hearing Zai Yan's words, Xiao Chen's lips couldn't help but twitch. It would be strange if he didn't hit you for trying to steal his treasure. The two manifested Du Qi wings. Zai Yan led the way for Xiao Chen, flying towards the direction of the snow demon sky ape's lair. After flying over a forest, they soon arrived at the canyon where the snow demon sky ape was located. Xiao Chen released his aura, and after a moment, a monkey-shaped demonic beast with a strong build, ice-blue skin, covered in snow, and teeth like scythes walked out from the darkness of the canyon. Defeated foe, you who were chased all over the mountain by me back then, do you think I'll be afraid of you just because you brought reinforcements? The snow demon sky ape suddenly spoke in human tongue to Zai Yan. What defeated foe? I just hadn't eaten enough. Zai Yan argued with some shame and annoyance as the snow demon sky ape exposed her past, especially in front of Xiao Chen. No need for nonsense with him. Snow demon sky ape, obediently hand over the earth core body tempering fluid, or die, Xiao Chen said, getting straight to the point without wasting words. Hearing Xiao Chen's words, the snow demon sky ape pounded its chest in rage. As expected, you're coveting my earth core body tempering fluid. Human, you have a path to your own death. I'm too lazy to reason with you. You're not worthy of listening. Xiao Chen's figure flashed and appeared in front of the snow demon sky ape, throwing a punch wrapped in Du Qi right at it.